WWE announces John Cena's return to Monday Night Raw, paving the way for a WrestleMania match this year at the Showcase of the Immortals. What is Vince McMahon's status for the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony class of 2023 now that he's back as executive chairman of the company? Bray Wyatt takes a shot at Roman Reigns' record-breaking Universal Championship reign. Triple H talks about Sami Zayn's Montreal reaction over the past weekend. Cody Rhodes discusses being a surprise entrant in the men's Royal Rumble match this year. Charlotte Flair has her perspective on a title unification match for the women's division of WWE. Edge and Beth Phoenix react also on their Elimination Chamber victory. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of World Wrestling Entertainment. Let's start off talking about John Cena's return being official. It's been officially announced today. John Cena, of course, wrestled his first and only match of the year in 2022 on the December 30 episode of Friday Night SmackDown on Fox, where he and Kevin Owens defeated the tag team of undisputed Universal Champion Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn. Cena, of course, has been speculated for a match against current WWE United States Champion Austin Theory at WrestleMania 39 in Los Angeles in April. Cena, though, has been in Australia filming the upcoming Ricky Stenicki movie, which many thought would rule him out of an appearance at maybe WrestleMania, or certainly would rule him out of an appearance in the build-up to the grandest stage of them all event in April. However, we now know when we can expect to see the 16-time world champion back on our television screens, as WWE has officially announced that John Cena will be appearing on the March 6th episode of Monday Night Raw from Boston, Massachusetts. Of course, that being his home state. Of course, he's from West Newbury, Massachusetts. Theory, his possible opponent at WrestleMania, retained the United States Championship inside the Elimination Chamber, last eliminating Seth freaking Rollins thanks to interference from Logan Paul. Of course, it's been widely speculated and reported that Rollins will face off against Paul at WrestleMania also. Theory, meanwhile, though, he has issued an open challenge for tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw, which will be answered by none other than WWE Hall of Famer Edge, a longtime opponent and great rival of John Cena. It'll be interesting to see if they play that up at all. Now, when it comes to John Cena, this appearance in March will be Cena's first appearance on Monday Night Raw since his 20-year anniversary show last June, and certainly it all but confirms that we're probably going to be getting John Cena versus Austin Theory at WrestleMania. Whether or not it's going to be for the United States Championship, that remains to be seen, but certainly Cena's going to be making at least one appearance prior to WrestleMania, most likely to set up that WrestleMania match between himself and Austin Theory. Of course, prior reports had put out there, I believe it was Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select, that Cena had filmed backstage segments with Austin Theory when he was at SmackDown on December 30. We don't know whether that was for promotional build-up to WrestleMania. We don't know if that's for 2K23. Of course, Cena is the cover star of that. One thing is for certain, John Cena will be on the March 6, 2023 episode of Monday Night Raw from Boston, Massachusetts, all but confirming his place on the card for WrestleMania 39 later this year. Now, speaking of WrestleMania weekend, of course, a staple of it is the Hall of Fame ceremony, and Vince McMahon, now that he's back in the WWE as the executive chairman of the company following his retirement last July, there is some speculation on if he would be at the Hall of Fame ceremony, if he would be attending it. What's the status with Vince McMahon? Well, Vince McMahon is not slated to go into the Hall of Fame this year, according to Give Me Sports. In an exclusive interview with Give Me Sports, WrestleVotes, a popular Twitter account who has got things correct and wrong, it must be said, in the past, has revealed 3 names that they've heard are likely to be inducted over WrestleMania weekend in April. Now, when one name was asked, is it Vince McMahon, shortly after his retirement from WWE in July 2022, it was rumored that Vince McMahon would be honored with an induction into the Hall of Fame of the company he helped found. And with the 77-year-old coming back to WWE earlier on this year, fans believe that the chances of Vince appearing on WWE TV and being inducted had risen even further. However, speaking exclusively with Give Me Sport, WrestleVotes has explained that McMahon is not expected to go into the Hall of Fame this year. During the same interview, WrestleVotes did explain that Batista could end up going in, potentially even as a headliner. Of course, he was planned to be the headliner in 2020 for WrestleMania 36, but of course that was pushed back due to the pandemic. The following year, he wasn't able to go in because of the, because of COVID restrictions. And then last year, The Undertaker was going, so he didn't want that to happen. As far as the quote itself from WrestleVotes, this is what they said, quote, Vince McMahon isn't going to happen, at least as far as this year. Batista seems like it makes the most sense. It's kind of owed to him. Of course, the event will also take place in Hollywood, and given that Batista is now a world-renowned movie star, the former WWE champion being inducted this year definitely makes sense. So who else is going to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame? So while Vince is not slated for the Hall of Fame class and Batista is selected, WrestleVotes has revealed some names they've heard discussed for this year's class. Back in January, Shinsuke Nakamura wrestled in Japanese promotion Pro Wrestling Noah against the Great Muta, and we could be able to see WWE receive their part of the deal. WrestleVotes explain that as part of WWE allowing Nakamura to wrestle in Noah, they've heard that the Great Muta could end up going into the WWE Hall of Fame this year. Quote, the Great Muta, I've heard that was the trade-off. I heard he's going in as a trade-off for the Shinsuke Nakamura match. As well as Muta, WrestleVotes also explained that Lillian Garcia, the former WWE ring announcer, has also been discussed as an induction into WWE's Hall of Fame class of this year. WWE has yet to announce anyone for this year's Hall of Fame, but with 6 weeks between now and the event, the announcements will likely be coming soon. Of course, if we get any more official announcements, rumors, or speculation, we'll let you know here on the channel. But one name that's not going in is the WWE Executive Chairman for now. Now, Bray Wyatt has taken a shot at Roman Reigns, talking about how did Roman Reigns win the Universal Championship in the first place. Of course, there's no denying that Roman Reigns is the man to beat in WWE, as he recently crossed the 900-day mark with the Universal Championship. Roman has also held the WWE Championship for over 300 days, and he's currently billed as the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. The Tribal Chief has defended his bouts against some big challengers, and BT Sport recently posted a graphic on social media highlighting all of his title defenses since he won the Universal title in 2020. But the post caught the attention of Bray Wyatt, who questioned Roman's tactics and asked, yeah, but how did he win it? Braun Strowman also chimed in when he responded to Bray Wyatt's post with the following, right, exclamation points aplenty. Now, Roman first won the Universal Championship back at Payback in 2020 when he defeated The Fiend and Braun Strowman in a triple threat no-holds-barred match. Reigns, of course, entered the match after The Fiend hit Braun Strowman with a superplex from the top and the ring imploded. He ended up pinning Braun Strowman to win the bout and not The Fiend. Currently, Reigns is set to defend the undisputed WWE Universal Championship against Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 39, but some have speculated Sami Zayn still could be added to the main event. However, as of last week, according to Dave Meltzer, that was not the current plan. Speaking of Sami Zayn, Triple H has discussed Montreal, Quebec, Canada's reaction to their hometown hero over the past weekend. Montreal's reaction to Sami Zayn was nothing short of spectacular. At Elimination Chamber, Sami Zayn challenged Roman Reigns for the undisputed Universal Championship in front of his hometown fans. Though the night didn't end up with Sami dethroning Roman, the ovation he received from those in attendance, both at Elimination Chamber and SmackDown, couldn't be characterized as anything other than special. Speaking during the post-show press conference, Triple H was asked about Montreal's reaction to Zayn, saying that he knew the roof would have been blown off at the Bow Center. Quote, for the average person or the average performer, if they were there the night before, they get a huge reaction. Somewhere in my mind, I would expect tomorrow will be good. It might not be what it was tonight because they haven't seen him for a long time. Tonight is the first night, tomorrow is the second time, and maybe a lot of the same people, maybe not. If it's the same, it'll be great, but if it's slightly less, really good. For me tonight and last night, even just seeing the reaction that everything got, that Sami got, I had no doubt. I thought at SmackDown, as good as that was tonight, he's going to blow the roof off this place tomorrow, and when they see Roman, those special chants that they're doing are going to be deafening. It's a feel. Pat Patterson, he used to always say, it's just a feel, that is what is going to happen, and I know it, it's a feel. I can't tell you why, it's just my gut. Go with your gut. It was a feel. Last night I watched Sami, I watched everything that happened, and I thought tomorrow is going to destroy this. It's going to be at another level, and it was. It's just a feel. I felt it, I knew what it was going to be tonight, and thankfully I was right. Sami blew the roof off this place. It was spectacular. Spectacular indeed, but not enough to win the undisputed Universal Championship from Roman Reigns. Cody Rhodes has spoken about not being a surprise entrant at the Royal Rumble, which is quite interesting. The Royal Rumble matches, of course, are notorious for featuring surprise entrants, and heading into the 2023 Men's Rumble match, a lot of fans expected Cody Rhodes to be one of those surprises. However, WWE went down a different route for his return from injury, opting to share weekly vignettes about his story, and he told the MMA Hour that, quote, "It felt good telling them that, hey, I'm coming back." While the American Nightmare admitted that it might have been really cool to be a surprise entrant in the Rumble, the decision was made to showcase the journey that Rhodes had been on since tearing his pectoral muscle. It allowed Rhodes to call his shot ahead of time, which was important to him, showcasing to fans that he is someone who keeps his word. Quote, "It was really nerve-wracking and anxious watching those vignettes because they're not vignettes. It's like real surgery footage and real PT footage, and they're at my gym," he said about the footage shot by Jeremy Borash. "I didn't want to let anybody down, and I felt like I didn't, so that was what I liked about the Royal Rumble." Ultimately, though, the men's match still had some surprises, with the likes of Booker T, Edge, and Logan Paul all turning up unannounced, while Rhodes was enter as the number 30 spot and eventually win after a mini-match with Gunther to determine who would be the last man standing. Now he looks ahead to headlining WrestleMania 39, where Rhodes has called his shot once again by claiming he will fulfill his father's destiny to win the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Of course, it remains to be seen if this tactic will work for him once again, as it did for the Royal Rumble. Charlotte Flair has spoken about title unifications. Of course, they've been aplenty in WWE over the past 12 months. Roman Reigns has reigned as the undisputed WWE Universal Champion since he defeated Brock Lesnar in a winner-takes-all match in the main event of last year's WrestleMania 38 show. Shortly after Reigns' victory, the Usos became the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions in May, defeating RK Bro in a winner-takes-all match. With both the World and Tag Team Championships currently serving as one singular unified title, fans have speculated that maybe the Women's Championships could be next. Becky Lynch, of course, famously became Becky two bouts after winning both the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championship in WrestleMania 35's main event, but she continued to defend the titles as two separate championships. Current SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair recently spoke to the News Journal during her appearance at the Daytona 500, where she was asked if there were any women that she hadn't worked with that she would like the chance to. Charlotte named current Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair as someone who she has never had a proper program with, and that she would be the one she'd like to choose. She was then asked about a potential title unification match between the two women's champions. Charlotte appeared to be very much against the idea, however, saying that it would mean there would be less opportunities for the women in the company. She said, quote, "I don't recommend a unification program because I feel that would mean less opportunities for the women. It was cool for one of the girls to have both titles at one time, but it also takes a lot of spots away. A unification program between the two champions isn't set to happen at WrestleMania. Of course, Flair is set to defend the SmackDown Women's Championship against Royal Rumble winner Rhea Ripley on the show. Meanwhile, Bianca Belair will defend her Raw Women's Championship against Asuka following Asuka's victory at Elimination Chamber." Certainly what was interesting as well is her comments about Rhea Ripley during this same interview. She was asked about potentially main eventing this year's WrestleMania show against Ripley. Charlotte said she's planning on feeling the energy of the crowd at their first face-to-face next week at SmackDown to see what direction the story for the match should be taken in. She said, quote, "First, let's start with the main event aspect. I always find it so odd when people say, why does Charlotte always want to main event? Isn't that what you want as a performer? If you're a football team, you want to be at the Super Bowl, right? I don't understand the criticism over that. Why wouldn't you want to be a champion? With Rhea, we're not starting from scratch. We have so much history. We have our first face-off Friday. I'm not planning anything in my head creatively because I want to feel the energy. I want to feel what the audience thinks of how far she's come and where I'm at now. Will it be a different vibe? Are they going to want to see her beat me, or do they know she's not ready? I have to feel it out there, depending on my mind what direction to go. At the same time, I feel how Rhea feels this will be much different. I beat her for the NXT Championship. I beat her for the Raw title. That's something in her heart. I know I can beat Charlotte. I have to beat Charlotte. I feel like she has something to prove to herself, and we naturally have such great chemistry. I know she's going to bring it, and she knows that I'm going to bring it." Of course, that first face-off that Charlotte is referring to is already announced for SmackDown this coming Friday as we continue the build to WrestleMania. Speaking of the build to WrestleMania, of course, the final stop before WrestleMania was Elimination Chamber this past weekend, and Edge and Beth Phoenix both returned to the ring at the Elimination Chamber Premium Live event as they got their revenge on the Judgment Day's Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley for what happened at Extreme Rules last year, and the Radar superstar was pleased with the performance they put on as he reflected on the night via an Instagram post. He said, quote, "What a night, performing in Montreal for the first time in 16 years with my badass, kick-ass, sweet-ass, yeah, I said it, wife, who hadn't had a match in 13 months and performed a shatter machine with me," he wrote. "A move we never tried before on a premium live event. But that's Beth. Thank you, Montreal. Hearing you sing Metalingus and your love for us is something I'll always take with me." Edge and Phoenix picked up the victory using the Shatter Machine, which is a move that many fans will know as the Big Rig. It is the finishing move of AEW's FTR, which they also used during their run in WWE, which has led to plenty of speculation about the tag team and if this means they're WWE bound, considering the fact that their AEW contracts are due soon. However, of course, Edge is close friends with both men, who helped him get into ring shape during his initial comeback, and he has alluded to them on WWE television before during his feud against Seth Rollins. Of course, he wasted no time in revealing what was next for him either, and that became clear during the Elimination Chamber press conference. Austin Theory issued an open challenge for his United States Championship on Raw this week, and when Edge appeared to speak to the media, he accepted it, which is something he wrote about in his post as he wrapped things up by saying, quote, "All right, on to Ottawa, Austin Theory, and winning the United States Championship." Now, speaking of Beth Phoenix, she's also commented about her return to the ring. She competed on her first match in over a year at Elimination Chamber, and she hadn't missed a beat as she and Edge defeated Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley. However, after such a long period of time without competing, Phoenix explained at the post-show press conference that her preparation was all about reflecting what our current division is, as she wants to provide a worthy performance. The women's division has been a focal point of WWE in the year since Phoenix retired from full-time competition, and wrestlers who are bigger and stronger like her are now commonplace, with the likes of Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair dominating, which pushed Phoenix to work even harder for this one. Quote, "I knew I had to put in the extra hours, the consistency in the gym to be able to stand toe-to-toe and bring it because it's difficult," she said. "At home, I'm a mom. I spend a lot of my time raising our children, taking them to school, being a soccer mom. It's kind of compartmentalizing the killer instinct that you need to get in the ring and do what we do." With such a long break since she competed at the 2022 Royal Rumble against The Miz and Maurice, she admitted that getting prepared again is challenging and difficult, but she is able to tap into the fact she lives with Edge to ensure she brushes off any ring rust ahead of time. "We take some time and go to the ring and train on off days and put in a special effort for that," Phoenix said, "because again, the women's division is now incredible and I definitely wanted to be able to hang." And hang indeed, they certainly both did. But there you go, guys. This is the latest WWE news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Let me know your thoughts on today's WWE news stories in the comment section below. Remember, you can join the WN365 roster by clicking that join button, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.